The Dubbing King software presents. Why do actors and entertainers need stage names? A comprehensive guide. What is a stage name? A stage name is a pseudonym utilized by performers and entertainers, such as actors, comedians, singers, and musicians. Such titles are adopted for a wide selection of reasons and may be similar or nearly identical to an individual's birth name. In some situations, a performer will ultimately adopt their title as a legal name, although this really is often not the case. Nicknames are occasionally used within a person's professional name. There are numerous reasoned explanations why you might need to make a stage name. Perhaps your given name has way too many syllables or has an unfortunate connotation. Either way, you'll need a name that is memorable and can help establish your personal brand. What are the different ways that you could find a stage name? 1. Simplify your name. Oftentimes, stage names are simply simplified versions of certain names. If your full name is particularly long or hard to pronounce, simplifying it may assist you to out. 2. Anglicize your name. While controversial, some may choose to modify their name to focus on a Western audience. Similar to simplifying, this often involves editing an ethnic or difficult-to-pronounce name into something short and simple to remember. 3. Use your mother's maiden name. Use your mother's maiden name as your first or last name. This applies as soon as your mother's maiden name is catchier or more straightforward to pronounce or remember than your given surname. Just like these types of methods, the best way to try a name's catchiness is to ask people you know what their reaction to it is. 4. Use your middle name. Take your middle name and make it be your first or last name. Times, when this could be applicable, are whenever your last name is harder to pronounce, or much too common. 5. Use only a single name. If your first, middle or last name sounds unique, you could decide to pass by this alone. Select the name that has the best middle ground between pronounceable, memorable, and catchy. 6. Choose a provocative word to incorporate in your stage name. Create a name that relates to the genre or culture you desire to be identified with. Why should you have a stage name if you are an actor or entertainer? Stage names are the names of any actor, actress or any other famous person which is not the actual name that was given to him/her by born. These names are mainly derived later to catch the attention of a larger community and get noticed. There are many actors, actresses as well as famous persons from worldwide who are being observed as doing such kind of thing. Curiosity might question of reasons behind having such kind of names. The reasons for having a stage name vary from person to person. But there are some common facts that lurk behind having stage names. 1. Actors will be the leader of an artistic piece, cinema, which in modern days is principally designed for the purpose of business. As long as the company goes well, the actor is always to survive with pride. The minute the company drops, something happens. Though real art never dies, nowadays it could easily get forgotten for a time being. And all the actors face such type of insecurity deep inside themselves. Some could have names that they find backdated or names that don't suit them according to their class, or they might need something catchy to flush themselves near the fans. In such cases, out of pride or for a company reason or for some conduct of a certain actor, either they provide themselves a stage name or it will be written by friends or a group and later gets popular in that name. 2. There might have been a whole sum of reasons behind a certain actor's having a stage name, but the key point remains the exact same more or less. And they are the aforementioned terms. 3. A lot of young acting students wonder why actors need stage names. The truth is, not all actors need or use stage names, but also for some, it's the proper way to go. Some actors choose to legally change their names in court, but many can use and register stage names without ever being forced to legally change it. In fact, some actors choose to simultaneously use their real names and stage names to help keep their work and personal lives separate. How do you know whether or not to use a stage name? 1. If you need to avoid union confusion. In order to avoid confusion, SAG-AFTRA doesn't allow working actors to use identical screen names. If an actor's name has already been being utilized, the brand new union member must select a new name. Sometimes that change is as simple as adding or removing a middle initial, but sometimes the name change is more significant and involved. For example, Michael Keaton came to be Michael Douglas, but his career was preceded by Michael Douglas, who beat him to the union registry. 2. When you have a very popular or common name. Union rules aside, actors take stage names for several other reasons. If your name is a common one, there are usually others together with your same name. Actors with particularly common last names, Smith, Johnson, etc., are likely to change their names. Maybe this is exactly why Karen Elaine Johnson became Whoopi Goldberg. 3. If someone famous has already been utilizing your name. Actor-writer-director Albert Brooks came to be Albert Einstein and changed his surname for obvious reasons. Singer-actor David Bowie, born David Robert Jones, changed his name to avoid confusion with singer and actor Davy Jones, of the Monkees. Many names are inspired or refer right to real-world things that may be seemingly unflattering. Some surnames, like Belcher, Hooker, etc., have meanings that can complicate actors' attempts to cultivate the professional image they want. Classic Hollywood movie actor Cary Grant's original name Archibald Leach seemed less romantic than what Paramount Pictures wanted for the leading man. 4. If your name doesn't represent who you are. Obviously, just like people, all names originate from somewhere. However, if your name clearly comes from a specific place and you look as you originate from someplace else entirely, you might consider utilizing a show name. For example, a fair, blonde Latina who does not speak Spanish may select a show name that conceals or obscures her heritage. If your name suggests a solid identification with a language apart from English, a level name might be something to consider. Stage names were also traditionally used to avoid discrimination or the potential for it. Ethnic names were commonly anglicized to produce them seem more English or American, or simply just to produce them quicker remembered and understood to the American film and television industry at large. But ethnic surnames can be a good advantage for actors as television and commercials prefer to diversify their casts. For actors today, highlighting or obscuring ethnic heritage are equally common motives for creating and utilizing an actor stage name. 5. If your different name will soon be easier to use and understand. Recommends performers use names that can be simple for others to state, spell, and remember. 6. If you need to guard your identity. Working professionally under one name while utilizing your regular name in the home helps some actors separate their working and private lives. For child actors, stage names can offer an added layer of identity insulation, which parents may prefer for their child's safety. Acting credits might be listed under the stage name as the legal name or birth name appears on school enrollment, sports rosters, and your regional event mentions. Actors could work for a very long time under a level name without ever changing their name legally. If you decide you'll need a stage name, what you're changing your name to depends on why you're changing it. How do you create a new and unique stage name from scratch? 1. Think about the connotations of the words you use. All words have connotations, and you need the ones you use in your stage name to connect with the style, culture, and genre you're trying to fit in. People tend to be more probably be drawn to a title that pertains to the genre they're interested in. Cliché or not, there exists a reason so many surf rock bands use the word beach. 2. Ensure it's searchable and pronounceable. If you want individuals to be able to find you online, having a period name as pencil will probably hinder you. Your stage name must certainly be something which can be put into Google just since it is, and comes up along with your online presence. And if people can't hear what you're saying once you tell them your name, or they can't spell it after hearing it, that's an additional roadblock to being remembered. 3. Choose something that you could at the very least pretend you have an account for. If you've picked an excellent stage name that's memorable and stands out, people are likely to ask you about it. You intend to have more to express other than it sounded well. The simplest way to do this is to take into account picking a stage name which in fact means something for you, at the very least in a few small ways. 4. Test your name out. Try to have just as much feedback as you are able to from friends and people you know about your brand new stage name. Maybe your name makes a guide that is too obscure, or it isn't as easy to know when spoken in a packed bar as you thought. Getting second and third opinions is vital because your stage name is all about how you need individuals to see you.